Do you dare to venture into the abyss of the unknown? Many of us did, especially those who spent their childhood in the hauntingly surreal era of the 90s, enraptured by a certain terrifying Canadian anthology horror series. Brace yourselves, spectators, for we're about to embark on a journey through the chilling corridors of memory. Tonight, we delve into the spine-chilling legacy of Are You Afraid of the Dark? This series, a monumental paradigm of horror and suspense, was the sinister invention of the infamous DJ McHale and Ned Candell. These two puppeteers of paralyzing fear loosed their horrific creation onto an unprepared world in the eerie gloom of the early 90s. Their prey? Mostly unsuspecting teenagers, but let's not deceive ourselves, a considerable number of adults too were ensnared by the show's uncanny magnetism. Are You Afraid of the Dark was more than a mere show. It was a blood-curdling experience. It possessed an innate talent for spinning tales that would send shivers down your spine, make your heartbeat echo in your ears, and set your imagination alight with ghostly apparitions. Each episode was a descent into a new dimension of terror, a unique exploration of the menacing shadows dancing in the corners of our minds. And the masterstroke? The spine-chilling tales were all weaved by a group of teenagers known as the Midnight Society.
She wouldn't stop complaining till we helped her move the stuff.
Who? Vange?
No, me.
A sofa?
Yeah, I know they're disgusting, but I do not sit on logs.
Where did you get it?
The dump's not far from here. Far enough.
I know it's not traditional, but they're way more comfortable. Hope you don't mind.
Why should I mind? This is great. So, who's up tonight?
Me. I got a good one.
Fine, I'll just pull up a rock.
Okay, listen up. My story is about games. Everybody loves games, especially when you win. Losing's not so hot, but it doesn't really matter, because it's only a game, and you can always play again. Right? Well, not always. If you're gonna play the game in my story, you better win. Because if you lose, you may never play another game. Ever. Again. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story The Tale of the Zombie Dice.
Would assemble around a hauntingly illuminated campfire, spinning tales that would make even the bravest quiver with fear. The gifted young actors who breathed life into the Midnight Society included the likes of Ross Hull, Rain Paracool, Jodie Rester, and Jason Alisharan, each leaving an indelible mark on the canvas of horror television. The show didn't confine itself to a monotonous vein of horror, oh no. It traversed a broad spectrum of the genre, from specters to grotesque monsters, from paranormal occurrences to the downright inexplicable. Each episode had a unique flavor, catering to diverse palettes of terror, as long as you had the stomach for the spine-chilling. Let's not forget the myriad of settings either. One episode might plunge you into the bowels of a haunted mansion, the next might strand you in a spectral carnival, and the next could transport you to some other ghastly realm where nightmares are birthed. It was this unsettling diversity, this chilling unpredictability that kept viewers teetering on the precipice of fear episode after episode. This enthralling show commenced its haunting voyage in 1990, and little did we anticipate that it was merely the onset of a horror anthology that would inscribe a chilling chapter in television history. So hold your breath, for we're just skimming the surface. The true terror, my friends, begins now. At the heart of Are You Afraid of the Dark lies a group of teenagers known as the Midnight Society. This band of friends, each unique in their own way, gather around a campfire in the dead of night, trading tales designed to send shivers down the listener's spine. The Midnight Society's concept is simple yet brilliant. Beneath the starlit sky, surrounded by the hushed sounds of the forest, each member takes a turn to weave a tale of horror and suspense. Each story, as different as the storyteller, often involves elements of the supernatural, eerie occurrences, or spine-chilling monsters. Yet it's not just the stories that hold our attention, but also the storytellers. The Midnight Society, with their distinct personalities and styles, became as much a part of the narrative as the frightful tales they spun. The series' unique narrative structure was a stroke of genius. The stories were not just standalone tales of terror. They were stories within a story, framed by the storytelling sessions of the Midnight Society. This structure added an additional layer of intrigue, as viewers not only anticipated the story of the episode, but also the interaction and reactions of the Society members. This combination of storytelling and character development is what made Are You Afraid of the Dark so special. The series was more than just a collection of scary stories. It was a journey into the minds of these teenagers who, despite their fear, came together in the spirit of camaraderie and storytelling. Their tales may have been terrifying, but the warmth of their friendship was always the comforting light that kept the darkness at bay. The Midnight Society was not just a group of teenagers. They were the carriers of tales that would send chills down our spines, the guardians of the campfire, and the brave souls who dared to ask, "Are you afraid of the dark?" The Midnight Society was not just a group of teenagers. They were the carriers of tales that would send chills down our spines. Every tale spun by the Midnight Society was a journey into the eerie and the supernatural. As the campfire's glow danced on their faces, the teens wove narratives that dipped and dived into the chilling realms of horror. Each story unique and yet bound by a common thread of spine-tingling suspense. The range of horror subgenres covered by these tales was nothing short of staggering. From the classic haunted houses filled with specters of the past, to the slimy, many-tentacled creatures that lurked in the shadows, Are You Afraid of the Dark never shied away from exploring the vast spectrum of the macabre. One moment you'd be following a protagonist through a misty cemetery, the eerie silence punctuated only by the hoot of an owl. The next, you'd be plunged into a twisted fairy tale, where enchanted objects held dark secrets and mythical beasts roamed free. Some episodes etched themselves into the minds of viewers with memorable monsters and eerie entities. Who could forget the chilling laughter of the ghastly jester Zebo, or the icy touch of the phantom pool shark? Or the heart-stopping moment when the Crimson Clown's painted face emerged from the darkness? Each episode was a masterclass in suspense and imagination, creating nightmares from ordinary objects and everyday scenarios. The series had a knack for delivering a unique brand of horror that combined the uncanny with the familiar. A magic trick gone wrong, a cursed comic book, a forbidden door in a basement. Mundane elements turned into sources of terror. The show played with expectations, using the familiar to lure viewers into a false sense of security before pulling the rug out from under them. Through it all, Are You Afraid of the Dark maintained an underlying sense of fun. Its stories were scary, yes, but they also sparked the imagination, inviting viewers to explore the darker corners of their minds, all from the safety of their living rooms. Whether it was ghosts, monsters, or the simply strange, Are You Afraid of the Dark had a knack for turning ordinary tales into extraordinary horrors. Are You Afraid of the Dark was not just a show, it was a cultural phenomenon that left its mark. A ripple in the pond of television, its waves continue to spread, touching the shores of generations both old and new. The show was a roaring success during its initial run from 1990 to 1996, and its popularity was such that it saw revivals not once but twice. The first revival took place from 1999 to 2000, and the second one nearly 2 decades later, in 2019. The longevity of Are You Afraid of the Dark is a testament to its timeless appeal. Each revival breathed new life into the show, introducing it to fresh audiences while rekindling the nostalgia of those who had grown up with it. And let us not forget its contribution to a broader cultural trend. Are You Afraid of the Dark was a pioneer, paving the way for a wave of horror-themed television shows aimed at younger audiences throughout the 90s. It showed that horror could be accessible, enjoyable, and yes, even educational for a younger demographic. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Are You Afraid of the Dark is its status as a cult classic. The term cult classic is often thrown around, but here it truly applies. The show has a dedicated fan base that cherishes it not just for the chills and thrills it offers, but for its nostalgic value. It's a piece of their childhood, a fragment of time that transports them back to those Saturday nights spent huddled in front of the television, eyes wide in anticipation and fear. And isn't that the true power of storytelling? To create memories that last, that resonate, that transport us back to another time and place? From 1990 to today, Are You Afraid of the Dark continues to captivate, thrill, and yes, scare audiences, proving that a good tale of horror never fades. It's more than a show, it's a legacy, and it lives on. So, are you still afraid of the dark? Let's take a moment to reminisce about the chilling journey we've embarked on, diving headfirst into the uncanny world of Are You Afraid of the Dark? We've traveled back in time to the early 90s where the birth of this spine-tingling show took place. A creation of DJ McHale and Ned Candell, this Canadian anthology horror series was designed to send shivers down the spines of teenagers worldwide. From its inception, it was clear that Are You Afraid of the Dark had a unique allure, a distinct charm that drew in viewers like moths to a flame. We've huddled around the campfire with the Midnight Society, a group of teenagers with a knack for storytelling. Each member brought their own flavor to the mix, spinning tales of terror that ranged from the supernatural to the downright eerie. Ghosts, monsters, and other peculiar occurrences were the bread and butter of their chilling narratives. We've delved into the myriad of storylines, each more spine-chilling than the last. These tales of terror, each unique in its own right, provided a buffet of horror, subgenres, and settings. This variety kept viewers on their toes, never knowing what kind of fright was around the corner. And of course, we've witnessed the legacy that Are You Afraid of the Dark has left behind. The show's success paved the way for a slew of horror-themed television shows for young audiences in the 90s. It's become a cult classic, fondly remembered by those who grew up watching it. The show's influence can still be seen today, a testament to its enduring appeal. It's been a thrilling journey into the world of Are You Afraid of the Dark, a show that continues to haunt our dreams and fuel our love for a good scare. Until next time, remember, everyone has a story, but not all of them are for the faint-hearted.